Before we dive into this story, a dark, complex, and unforgettable journey through America's past, I want to invite you to join the conversation. Comment below what you knew, or thought you knew, about slavery in the United States. Your perspective matters, and your voice can spark important reflection. And if you enjoy deep historical content, go ahead and share this video with a friend who loves history too. If at any point you feel like you're learning something meaningful, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. The bell is what ensures YouTube actually tells you when the next episode is up. Now take a breath. Because the story you're about to hear isn't just about numbers and dates. It's about people. About stolen lives, unexpected resistance, dangerous choices, and the immense weight of an institution that shaped an entire nation. And it all begins long before the Civil War. It begins with chains, transatlantic ships, and an economy built on human suffering. The year often marked as the beginning of African slavery in what would become the United States is 1619, when a group of Africans arrived in Virginia. They were taken from powerful kingdoms, Ndongo, Benin, Dahomey, Congo, many of them skilled farmers, metalworkers, or artisans. Some spoke Bantu languages, others Yoruba, some were Muslims, some practiced traditional religions. Ripped from their lands, they endured the horrific Middle Passage, where more than 15% of enslaved Africans died before even reaching American shores. Disease, starvation, brutality, and darkness defined the voyage. Upon arrival, their names, identities, and histories were stripped away. Through the 1700s, slavery grew as tobacco plantations expanded. But in 1793, something happened that changed everything. Eli Whitney invented the cotton gin. Instead of reducing labor, it created an enormous demand for labor. By the early 1800s, the South was transforming into a powerhouse built on cotton, and cotton depended entirely on enslaved labor. By 1860, nearly 4 million enslaved people lived in the United States. In some states, like Mississippi, they made up more than 50% of the population. Cotton represented over half of all U.S. exports. If you're still with me, seriously, tell me in the comments, did you know these numbers? But enslaved people were not merely labor. They were creators, survivors, and resistors. African culture thrived through songs, rhythms, food, and religion. The spirituals, rhythmic, emotional songs, often carried secret messages about escape routes and safe times to run. And run they did. Tens of thousands of enslaved people fled to the north, especially through the Underground Railroad, a clandestine network of routes and safe houses. The most iconic conductor was Harriet Tubman, who personally freed more than 70 people through dangerous rescue missions. But she wasn't alone. White abolitionists, Quakers, ministers, writers, built anti-slavery societies, published newspapers, and pressured politicians. William Lloyd Garrison founded The Liberator in 1831, denouncing slavery every week. In 1852, Harriet Beecher Stowe's novel Uncle Tom's Cabin shook the nation. When she met Abraham Lincoln, he supposedly said, "So you're the little lady who wrote the book that started this great war." But the war hadn't begun yet. Not quite. The real conflict was economic, cultural, moral, and it was building. In the South, cotton ruled everything. Wealthy plantation owners justified slavery with twisted logic, claiming it was necessary, even natural. In the North, where industrialization was rising and slavery had been abolished, many saw the Southern system as backward and immoral. Then came Abraham Lincoln. When Lincoln was elected in 1860, without receiving a single Southern electoral vote, panic swept through the slaveholding states. Lincoln didn't call for immediate abolition, but he opposed the expansion of slavery. For the South, that was enough. Beginning with South Carolina in December 1860, 11 states seceded and formed the Confederate States of America. In April 1861, Confederate forces fired on Fort Sumter. And the Civil War began. All because of everything you've heard so far, the weight of slavery. If this story made you think, if it opened your eyes to the scale of this history, leave a like, subscribe, activate the bell, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. History is heavy. But we carry it so the future doesn't repeat it.